Hello students, and welcome back to the English Danny channel. Today I've got a new episode of Three-Way English with Dr. Don. But before I get to the story, let me remind viewers to subscribe to our channel if you're enjoying this content. And if you find this video helpful, why not give it a like and share it with your friends, since it helps our channel a lot. Thank you. Okay, let's start the episode. Remember, with Three-Way English, I will tell you a story three different ways. First, in a very basic, simple way, and then two more times with increasing difficulty. The idea is to help you learn English grammar and vocabulary in context. The first time through, I will use simple present tense only. I will use simple sentence structures and speak slowly with no contractions. Today's story is an old fable. In English, a fable means a story which is meant to teach a moral lesson. In fables, you sometimes see talking animals or fantastic creatures who represent different human characters or failings. Today's fable is about the fox and the grapes. One day, a fox sees a beautiful bunch of grapes hanging from a vine. The vine twists around the branches of a tree. The grapes seem ready to burst with juice because they are so ripe. The fox's mouth waters as he looks at them with desire. The bunch of grapes hangs from a high branch in the tree, so the fox has to jump up to reach it. He jumps one time, but he misses by a long way. So he walks off a short distance and takes a running jump at the grapes. But he falls short again. He tries over and over, but each time he falls short. Finally, he sits down and looks up at the grapes hanging from the tree. He feels disgust. He thinks he was foolish to waste his time. The grapes are probably sour and not worth the effort, so he walks away from the tree in contempt. Okay, that's the simple version. You might know this story yourself from your own culture. Let's do it a second time through, now with added verb tenses, contractions, and slightly more complicated sentence forms. One day, there was a fox who saw a beautiful bunch of ripe grapes hanging from a tree. The vine was twisted around the branches of the tree. The grapes were so ripe, they looked ready to burst with their juices. Just looking at them, the fox's mouth started watering. The bunch of grapes hung from a very high branch, so the fox was forced to jump up to reach it. The first time he jumped, he missed it by a long way. So he walked off a short distance and took a running jump at the grapes. Unfortunately, he fell short yet again. Again and again he tried, but it was no use. He couldn't reach them. Finally, he sat down and looked up at the grapes in disgust. "What a fool I am," he said. "I'm wasting time trying to get a bunch of sour grapes that aren't worth the effort." And with that, he walked away from the tree in complete contempt. All right, by now, you've got the idea of how the story sounds in English. So let's do it one more time at native level speed and with a few more advanced vocabulary words thrown in for good measure. And at the end, I'll tell you what the moral of the story was. One day, there was a fox who spotted an attractive bunch of grapes hanging from a vine. The vine was carefully trained along the branches of a tree. The grapes were so ripe, they seemed near to bursting with their juices. The fox's mouth watered as he gazed at them longingly. The bunch hung from a very high branch on the tree, so the fox knew he would have to leap up to catch them. The first time he jumped, he missed it completely. So he walked off a short distance in order to take a good running leap. But he did so only to fall short once more. Again and again he tried, but it was all in vain. He simply couldn't get himself high enough to grab those grapes. Finally, he sat down and looked up at the grapes in disgust. "What a fool I am," he chided himself. "I've been wasting my efforts on a bunch of sour grapes." And with that, he stalked off scornfully. Now, the moral of this story is that there are many who pretend to despise and belittle things which are beyond their reach. Can you think of any similar examples from your own life or a similar story from your own culture? Share them in the comments section below. And I hope to see you all in the next video.